man, like, what's all the things that you do, brother? Like,
man, that's funny.
that's why I don't know where to begin.
So I call myself a red mage. You ever play Final Fantasy?
No.
Okay, so in Final Fantasy, the first game, and then there's like a few other games. The funny thing about Final Fantasy is that they have job classes, and so each like job class is different. So if you're a knight, you use a sword. If you're a thief, you use daggers, and you have a steal ability. If you're you turn to a ninja. But you have if you're a black mage, you use, like black magic, like fire and stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
The red mage, the white mage uses healing. So the red mage uses both black and white magic, but they can never master it because they're a red mage. The black and the white mage can only be the ones that master it. So for myself, instead of just saying I'm a jack of all trades, I say I'm a red mage because I'm not necessarily a master yet, but I dabble in each thing to where I can do not even just enough. Like I can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm a graphic designer. I own my own graphic design business where I work and design for clients all around. Yeah. Wow. It's probably the most low key of the things I do, even though not necessarily now, because now I also design for the Tribune. I actually recreated their logo, stuff like that. I've designed for people in South Carolina, all sorts of people. Right. So, and one of my new favorite clients is in North Carolina right now, and she's amazing, and it's just good to design for her. Along with that, I also, obviously, I'm a music artist, right? So, have the opportunity and the pleasure and the honor of working with all sorts of artists all around. So, the artists I've worked with, variety, let's say North Carolina, London, Canada. All that. So I just released recently.
Michigan too.
Michigan, absolutely. Michigan. DC. I'm trying to think where else. Definitely further west. Texas, I want to say. Looking at Portland right now as a collaboration with someone. Jersey. Just kind of all depends. But a lot of my reception outside of the US comes from the UK. Because I'm just truly grateful for the DJs that are there that I get to work with.
You look like a UK artist.
I love the UK, man. I went there back in 2019 and I loved it.
Wow. That's like my daughter's dream place. Like, I'm like, the weather is horrible over there.
It is. It's foggy. Like,
I heard the food is horrible. Fish and chips.
Okay, so real talk. And if anyone from the UK is watching this right now,
yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I love y'all, but ain't no seasoning on your fish and chips. There ain't not 1 inch of salt, ain't no pepper. I just remember, like, us going to the spot, me and my friends, and I remember being like, yo, I'm so hyped, fish and chips. Man, I got it, and I was like, oh, so all the condiments on the table, and you put whatever you want on it. That's how they make it. So they cooked it, and there's no seasoning. And then you put the salt on it. You put the tartar sauce. You put the stuff. That's why we didn't see it coming. And they eat a lot of peas. They love peas there. It's kind of crazy. But then some of the food is good. So like if you go to London, you go for Indian food. You go for Middle Eastern food.
Oh, okay.
You go for things like that. You don't go for a burger and fry.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you don't like. And I learned that the hard way because and then the cost of living is just like drastically high. Yeah. But I loved it. Like I think it's beautiful. Culturally diverse, super culturally diverse. Musically, it's crazy. So a lot of my favorite artists are UK. I
know musically, that might be like the best place in the world right now. Musically.
Yep.
Is the UK.
I agree.
From what I hear.
Yeah.
From what I hear versus other places, they not playing musically.
No. And what I love is that they're still, because I love like a lot of American artists. I love bossa nova. Brazilian music is some of my favorite music ever.
Bossa nova?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, bossa nova is fire. You've heard it. If you've heard Girl from Ipanema.
Okay. Yeah. I gotta
bossa
check
nova.
That out. Bossa nova.
Yeah. Bossa nova's
I heard
fire.
of Casanova. I don't know about bossa nova. But
that's funny. Yeah, but no, like bossa nova is super dope because it's more like top down on the car driving. Okay. Like, just the sun shining.
Road trip music.
Very, very beautiful music, right?
Yeah.
Somewhat jazz, somewhat like, I don't know, like percussions, a lot of like, it's like super dope. But yeah, so anyway, I've been able to listen to, variety as we all, many of us have. But like, it is something about UK right now with their music and what they're doing and where they're going with it.
Yeah.
And also I would even say to a point Canada too, because there's like some of the the person I got to work with in Canada, her name's Desiree D. She's a producer, amazing, absolutely amazing. Wow. Yeah, and she's killing the game in Toronto.
So the titles you said graphic arts designer,
yep.
Music
artist. Yep.
What else you do?
So I used to be a photographer. So I used to shoot photos. I don't really do it now. But I also am a community engager. So I love event planning, community engagement, stuff like that. Things that we can do to connect people in our community together. So like back in 2019, this was like it ended just before COVID. I had started a thing called Music and Munchies, where the goal was to get music artists together so we could just talk, learn the craft. I can bring people in to teach people like, hey, this is how you book shows, or this is how you get placements, or this is how you, yeah. And so we did that along with like a talent show, which is kind of cool. It's called Show and Tell, right? Outside of that, I would say the ultimate goal though was to connect music artists together in the city because of the competition that we at times have here. Yeah. Right. And so even though I'm not necessarily doing Music and Munchies now, I still have an opportunity to connect people through the arts, through actually, hey, we're doing this show. I would love for you to be a part of this. Or, hey, like, this is happening. How can I make this a community and like a community event where we're doing stuff to not just engage this person over here who looks like they're well off, but like if there's an unsheltered person that is coming, and they're walking by, like, hey, get you a hot dog, come, enjoy the music. And I was blessed to do that during my time at the library. But now I work for the SBDC, which is my other position. So I'm the minority business advisor.
Hold on. We're going to get back to that.
Okay.
Because we got to unpack some stuff with that.
Okay.
Because I got a lot of questions. Even behind the scenes, I'm going to have a lot of questions with that. Now, the music.
Yep.
What's your music? You rap and you sing, right?
Yes, I mostly sing though.
Yeah,
so I would say
sing.
85% singing, 15% rapping.
Okay. What made you start? What made you say I want to do music? Because it seems like you just like a Renaissance man. like you should have been in that movie. What's the joint? Lorenz Tate. Love Jones.
Okay,
you know how they was. He was like a Renaissance man in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, what made you say like I want to rap, or was it always in you?
So I grew up doing music. I grew up singing. My mother sang in church, amazing voice.
Okay.
So she actually it was me, my brother, my aunt, and my mother, and we used to be a singing group. And so we would go and sing at different churches, like a gospel singing group.
Okay.
Yeah. So we would go to different churches and sing and do all sorts of stuff like that.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. It's super dope. Again, she's incredible. I always shout at my mother, like she's absolutely incredible, creative in her own right in all sorts of ways. But yeah, so we did that, and then it was about high school. I was singing, I was doing competitions and all those things. Then I was about 19 or 20. My brother and I auditioned for American Idol. My brother made it to the next round. He's incredible. So he does more like musicals and all sorts of stuff like that. But he's also a poet and an artist, so he draws too. But yeah, basically we did that. Didn't make it, obviously, but it's all good. From there, I just wanted to do music. When I got to college, however, I went to Western, and then I transferred to Liberty University.
Yeah, my
whole thought process on wanting to pursue music professionally changed. Wow. And I don't know. I actually don't know, but I got to this point where I was just like, I want to do marketing. I want to engage and meet people where they are through marketing and public relations. So I got my specialty in college, my degree in ad and PR with my specialty in public relations. So that's where the event planning, community engagement parts come from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you kind of at that time fell out of love of music or whatever?
In the sense of doing it professionally, absolutely. I don't know, man. I just got to this point. I was like,
I got a secret to tell people.
Okay.
I used to rap back in the days.
Did not know that. That's dope. Where your stuff at? Can I hear
nowhere? Yeah, that was a long time ago, right? But I remember, like right now, that's back in the days when it wasn't a billion rappers.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was listening to I think AZ's first album. Yeah, it was AZ's first album. And I'm listening and I'm like, I ain't this good. It's over for me.
Mm-hmm.
I never but say if I was like in this era, I'd be listening to the music like, well, I'm this good. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like back then it was AZ, Nas. It was people that I'm like, nah, I can't do it like that. So I just stopped.
Yeah. I'm
like, people still think I know how to rap, but because I know how to talk fly. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, like as far as falling out of love for music, but then obviously you picked it back up.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing. I didn't never think I was going to. The whole thing was that I would still sing every once in a while with somebody, or I would just maybe somebody's there and I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah.
But then I remember there was some friends of mine, really good friends of mine, who had moved here from Texas, and they were planning a church, so they were going to start a church here.
Yeah.
And basically they were like, yeah, we feel God's called us here. Cool, dope, right? I'm excited I love them. And I remember one day I was sitting in their house, and the wife, she looks at me and she's always direct with me, and it's something I appreciate because she's very real with me. And she said, Macklyn, can I be honest with you? You have a gift and you're wasting it. And that was it. And she didn't just say that. She just said more shit. Yeah. But that was the moment I stopped and I said, all right. And so what I did was I prayed. I asked God. I was like, what do you want me to do? And then I went and sought counsel. So I was like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think I should pursue this? Da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was looking like a solid yes. And so I said, you know what? Let's do it. So I pursued it. And so this was in 2017, what she told me was at the end of 2017. 2018 March, I want to say. Yeah, March 2018. No, actually before that, I connected with, I had started singing. I'm trying to remember how it all went down. Yes. Okay. So 2018, I had started just kind of doing Instagram singing, right?
Yeah.
Reels wasn't out at that time, so it was just like you take the video, you record it, right? And there was some homies of mine that live in Chicago named Alert 312. So they were a hip hop group, and they saw my video and they was like, yo, like, we got this album coming out. Would you be down to be on the album? And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
Now, mind you, before that, I had done some work here in Roanoke when I was like 16, 17, 18. If you all know Palms.
Yeah.
That's my homie, brother.
Shout out to Palms.
Yeah, Palms is dope.
Shout out to Palms.
So me and him had done some recordings together and a few other people. And then when I was in college, a dude named Gavin Davis, he was a gospel artist and he did a lot in Liberty and Thomas Road. And he was just like, I want you to be background vocals on this. So those two things are super dope.
Yeah.
And then to like take this pause, come back, and then Alert 312 is like, hey, we want to be on this.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, essentially.
So that's what brought you back to music.
Yep. And then I just started going from there.
Now we're going to get back to the financial thing, which you was talking about. Or is there any other
honestly,
titles, jobs you have?
I'm trying to think. Uncle.
Oh, yeah.
Brother.
Yeah, of course.
Son. Right?
Yeah, of course. So, hold on. Yeah, of course we had your nephew on the show.
Yep.
808 Ray.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't just say that because he's my nephew.
Yeah,
he's
he's fire. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Like he's a genuinely good guy.
Yep.
Do you use the uncle thing that, yo, let me get that beat?
No.
Because I'm your uncle.
So nope, not at all. And he knows this. So I'm big on, I don't care who you are, I will not use you. If you know your worth, I will pay you. I will make sure that you're treated with respect. So it's the same thing with him. So there's many
Why
times.
y'all so nice? Well, like,
I'm thankful for a good mom.
Why y'all so, man, listen.
I'm super thankful for a good mom. Like, that's how my mom was very much
if I
ethical.
did music, that was my nephew, man, listen, you going to produce this whole album. You going to produce this whole album. Shout out to 808, though.
Yeah. But that's how we work. That's how we work.
And I met you the first time. It was actually here. You was having the event.
Yeah, the graffiti joint.
Yeah, the graffiti joint, which was something real dope. And I used to do graffiti when I was young. I used to be into graffiti heavy.
Yeah.
But we need those type of elements here because the garbage hip hop has taken over as far as like everything killing and all of that. Like boom bap is kind of being placed to the back.
Yep.
Which boom bap will live forever though.
Yeah, I believe it.
A lot of people just like trap music and all that got an expiration date.
Yeah.
Boom bap. We still listen to people from back in the days. And like don't nobody is still listen no trap rappers from back in the days. Like that just don't happen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What's your take on the music and where it's going?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I've had several conversations about this.
Yeah.
So for myself, I love boom bap. I love like that good old boom bap hip hop, right? Even lo-fi, like lo-fi hip hop is a very chill, like boom bap-ish feel. I struggle sometimes with some of the music of today, but in different ways. So I would love for a lot of it to just be boom bap, put a little jazz with it, jazz hop, something like that. And some of it I also get down with because I work out to it.
Some of it is cool. Like I say, sometimes I like ignorant music.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I might be in an ignorant vibe.
Yeah.
So, but like listening to that all day long, I just can't do that.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either.
Yeah, like
that's on a personal level I could not.
Yeah.
But one of the things I learned, I was and this is not what you're doing at all, but I've talked to people before that are just like, oh, it's all trash, right?
Yeah.
And my thing is, Jose Moore, and I were talking one time, and I remember, and he also said this on his podcast too. He was like, at the end of the day, like there are younger people who are coming into a different form of hip hop than what we did.
Yes. Yeah.
To bash that is to maybe turn them away from an opportunity to do life with them.
Yeah.
And then to introduce them to what we grew up on.
Yeah.
You see, like it could be like the positive of it is that at least they're coming into hip hop.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas then we can build relationship and talk. It would really suck if we were just like, oh, you just whack because it's this, and we can't even collaborate.
But that same thing happened with the generations before us. They were saying that was whack. So we gotta kind of, and I know it's like an old man syndrome. We be like, oh, that's just whack. Yeah. That's just horrible. Because honestly, we don't understand. When I be saying like songs is whack, like from the current hip hop, it's because I don't know what they saying. They like, I get it, I did it, I did it, I done it. They just saying like, I'm like, I don't really know what they saying.
Yeah.
But I gotta look at like my uncles, they didn't know what Busta Rhymes was saying.
True.
You know what I mean? They didn't know what what's it name? Foo Snickens.
Yeah.
They didn't know what these guys were saying. So it's the same thing. Like we have to learn to embrace probably all forms of hip hop.
Right. And there's good stuff in it. I work a lot with Virginia Tech, digging in the crates. So they have Virginia Tech has an organization called Virginia Tech Digging in the Crates.
Yeah.
Hip hop studies, where they work with college students and they teach them and educate them on hip hop.
Wow.
Like, period. Right.
Wow.
So
that's dope.
Yeah. So the last time I was up there working with them, Jay Rawls was there. And just like sitting there.
Jay Rawls, he a producer?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was there and just connecting with him, talking with him.
Wow.
But the dope part is that like it's an opportunity for students to learn and be educated on hip hop history, see it as an art, see it as what it is, a culture. And I think what's so dope about that is, of course, the educational part. But we have sometimes students that come into Virginia Tech Digging in the Crates, and they're some of the biggest mumble rap chat people ever. Wow. And yet some of them are now working as fellows with Virginia Tech Digging in the Crates. They're learning the ropes on all these other things about hip hop.
Yeah.
And in every facet. So and just to make this clear for whoever's watching, listening, hip hop isn't just the rap portion. There's like 5 pillars.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people instantly go, oh, it's hip hop, boom, it's done. Like,
Yeah.
no, there's so much more to the culture
Yeah.
with dancing,
Yeah.
graffiti, just the knowledge of it, everything. So just know that it's more than just the hip hop. And at the same time, that doesn't make the hip hop less than. It's all equally good, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what Virginia Tech Digging in the Crates gets an opportunity to do. It gets to show students, faculty, whoever, like, this right here, like, is good music and good art. Even if they come from a mumble rap background or a New York or a Chopped and Screwed or whatever.
Yeah.
So and that's how I roll. Like, how can we meet everyone where they are?
Yeah.
That is really tough.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love meeting people where they are.
And
through music as well.
And you willing to battle that fight? Because I ain't. I'm like, well, y'all do what y'all do. I ain't willing. I ain't willing to fight that good fight.
I feel
when it comes
I feel you.
when it comes to that.
I feel you.
But now let's get back on the financial tech.
Oh, sure.
I wanted to talk about that because you're part of something, an organization.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
And I feel there's a lot of information that people that look like us don't know.
Yep.
So shed some light on that, good brother.
Yeah. So I have the pleasure of working for the Roanoke Region Small Business Development Center. It's a organization through the SBA and Virginia Small Business Development Centers, where we offer free advising to all sorts of people. So, like, advising, we do free workshops, we do free, resources, all those things absolutely free. So my role at the SBDC is the minority business advisor. So I work with minority businesses and to do that very thing. I can work with anyone, but my specific, like, is minority business. And so I get to work with some people that really care about people. My director always talks about, when we talk about meeting people where they are, it's always like doing life with people, learning their life and, how we can help them, in their business.
What if someone comes in and they just say, I want to start a business, but they don't have no legs?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't have their paperwork right. They don't have nothing. They just know they dope in whatever they want to do.
Yep.
What do y'all do? Do y'all help them get an LLC or?
Yep. So we can educate people on LLC, how to do LLC taxes, getting your EIN, business license through the city. So we don't do it for you, but we will walk you through. This is how you go through the process to get it. Then once you do things like that, once you do those things, then we also have a program called Smart Start, where Smart Start is the bare bones, like, I call it the foundation of the house, right? So, like, you have this house, which is your business. Smart Start is that foundation, which is teaching you all those things, talking about LLC, EIN, any of those things, and then from there showing you how to get it. Then when you go from there, you get advising from us, and we're helping you by walking through a business plan with you, educating you, like, or not even necessarily just educating, but really advising on, hey, consider this, or consider putting this in your plan, or, like, think about your why, think about your mission and your vision, think about, all those types of things, your budget, your marketing, your target audience. And so that's what we do. We give advising on any of that. And then we also have workshops that are not just Roanoke Region workshops. And by the way, Roanoke Region is not just Roanoke City. Roanoke Region is Roanoke City, Vinton, Salem, Botetourt, New River Valley, Floyd, Allegheny Highlands, Franklin County, like all those places.
Okay.
So we do advising for anyone in any of those areas.
That's a big landmass right there. What you're saying. So okay, so y'all can start somebody, give them from the beginning to the end, right? But, like, the big thing, especially in our community, is funding.
Yep.
Like, do y'all show people how to get funding, or do y'all have some type of outlets for that? Yeah.
So we work with organizations here in the city, just different credit unions, things like that, in collaboration per se, right? And then we also send links to grants if we find grants. We send the link to, this is a good place to get a loan. This is a good place for da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never knew nothing about this stuff. That's why that was one of the things I wanted to do on this podcast, like connect people with information.
Yeah.
And whatever it was. Because I feel like I know just when I was coming up, I didn't know information involving a lot of different things. I had to go out and find it. Like, but that's just who I was. I just always wanted to know all knowledge, like a brainiac. Like, let me know everything. But some people just don't know. They have great business ideas.
Yep.
Like, especially in our community, we have great business ideas. We just don't know how to do the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's the killer, the technical stuff. We see businesses fall from the wayside all the time because either lack of business or budgeting or funding or whatever. We just don't know how to get it. But can we get funding? I know it's things that say that, hey, you can go here and get some funding, but can we actually really get funding?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. Grants are, of course, much, much harder. That's just the reality of a grant, right? So you're going into this, you have this business and you're going to these people who are saying, we have this grant, but also 5 million other people are also going for the same grant you're going for.
Yes.
Right? It's this much, but 5 million people. And sometimes for businesses, and especially like nonprofits and stuff, we mostly work like for business. Like that is our focus, is like businesses, right? But regardless, you have sometimes grants are like, here are the stipulations to get the grant. It's all sorts of stuff. And so you have to jump through hoops and holes and stuff like that just to maybe get the grant, right? So those are tougher. But loans and stuff, there are loans for brown and black people. There are loans for people like that, like, like us. There's also a really dope thing called SWAM certification. SWAM certification is a really, really cool process that if you've been in business for 3 years, and by the way, SWAM means small women and minority-owned businesses. So if you're SWAM certified, there could be a multitude of benefits for you when it comes to businesses needing assistance or needing a service. They could come to you before they go to anybody else. It's all sorts of stuff, and you will be on that SWAM list. There's so many things out there, and that's the dope part I would say about my job, is that when I get to work with people who are, have a small business and they're trying to figure this thing out, we can literally, you can meet with me multiple times. It's not like a 1 or 2 time thing and then it's done.
Yeah.
I have clients that I've met with 5 times, and we're just finishing a plans book, right, which is a marketing plans book, which is super dope. An opportunity for them to have a structure to their business. Because that's one of the things I tell people all the time. If you get a loan or a grant, if you want to get a loan or a grant, make sure you have a structure and some type of business plan and marketing plan.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you are a car that just filled its tank up with gas and you have no destination.
Yes.
Right? And you're driving somewhere, but you have no destination. So you're going to run out of gas.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Just get more gas to keep going? You don't have a destination. So focus on how, make a plan. And that's what we get to help with. So, yeah, it's all sorts of things that the SBDC gets the pleasure to do.
And that's just not like brick and mortar businesses, right? That's like if you want to take your business globally or whatever, internet businesses, however you're going to do that, right?
Yeah, I get the pleasure of, I haven't so far yet, but I know I can work with music artists. If you're a music artist and you just need advice on how can I book this show, how can I do this? Because our goal is to help you increase your capital, right? Our goal is to help you also just encourage you to love what you do and encourage you to with self-care in the midst of all of it. Because we have businesses that are closing and stuff because of mental health. So we want to encourage you in the same breath that we say, do all these things to start your business up. Are you also taking a day or two to take care of yourself and not do anything business related? Are you appreciating the work? Are you seeing what you're doing and congratulating yourself? We want to encourage you not to compare yourself to the other person and ridicule yourself. We want you to be the best you can while feeling the best you can. While you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a yeah.
What if I know you probably came across this. Somebody they have a business, right? And sometimes people have crazy ideas. And he like, man, that's... You remember that episode of Martin when Cole said, let's do a random spoons?
I can't remember now, but...
Yeah, we was talking about a business, random spoons. Like, have you ever seen that? Like a random spoons? Like somebody... He was talking about like, we have a business and we renting spoons. Is it like, you ever seen somebody with like a crazy idea, but you like, I don't want to crush it, but come on, yo.
No, so far, no. Everyone's idea is pretty like...
So nobody's selling like unicorn horns.
No,
like,
I wish actually, because I feel like...
What would you do if
someone came in with unicorn horns, they are a niche and they will blow it out the water. Because it's unicorn horns. Is nobody else selling? Who would sell unicorns? Unicorns? Come on. Like, so like, I would say go for it. I'm like, let me get your LLC up.
They say no idea is a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes it isn't. And then sometimes it's just something to think. Right. And that's what I'm saying. And sometimes it's something to really think through.
Because like if somebody, I'm doing a business and I'm selling creek water. Like, come on, you just going to the creek and getting water. It's a horrible idea. Like,
that's what I said. Sometimes you got to think through what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
You got to think through, is this really what I'm doing? That's why. So for myself, I encourage people a lot with knowing your why, right? It took me time. So kind of bouncing this into the music portion of things.
Yeah.
When I first got back into music, I'll never forget. I was just doing it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna be this like Christian artist. I'm gonna do da. Right? I love God, right? So I was like, my whole thing was, I want to be a Christian artist. I want to do this music, da. And I remember after a while, I felt this like tug from God saying, "But at the same time, your focus is just gonna be meeting people where they're at in all sorts of music. You may not even say my name in a song. The reality is that this person feels like, man, this song is encouraging me to reconcile and do this. I had a guy one time who literally on one of my songs hit me up and said, me and my wife are separated. I'm trying to reconcile with her, and I'm using your song along with a couple other songs to reconcile with my wife."
Yeah, music is powerful.
It's very powerful. And I hit him up.
Music is powerful.
Yeah, and I hit him up a month later, and I said, "How's it going?" And he goes, "We're back together." He said, "We're fighting through some stuff." But my point is that those things right there, like stuff like that, helped me understand what my why was. Right. And because of that, now I have my foundation. I know who I need to work with and who I don't have to work with. Right. Because a lot of people think, I just got to work with everybody to get out there. And it's like, no, you don't. Yeah. Don't compromise your convictions, your beliefs. You don't have to. Yeah. Right. You can stand firm on what you do and still kill the game. And so that right there, that why was super vital for my own life as a music artist. And so when I talk to small businesses, I always start, especially if they're startups, I always start with, what is your why? Because if you don't know your why, you might want to think hard about what you're doing this for. If you're just starting a restaurant because you like cooking burgers, and everyone else does too, right? Yeah. The thing is like, is it because you used to see this and you used to feel this way, and well, you've noticed this XYZ, and so now I have this passion. And so I'm blessed with, like, I'm truly, truly grateful for my clients, right? Yeah. Of course, I can't shout any out because what we do is completely confidential, but I'm grateful because a lot of them are like, yo, this is my why. Like, it's not just that it's my passion, but I also have a why standing. And then I go, okay, cool, you got your why now. Now you can build your mission and your vision. And now you have your mission and your vision. You now are working in a budget. You now have a target audience. You now have all these other things that are essentially going to help you in the long run.
Like, and that's crazy that you said that, right? Because I be thinking about like I'm starting this podcast, right? And I had to figure out like what I want to, like I've done all different types of things in my life. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what makes me though? What do I do? Like, and what do the people tell me I should do? Like, everybody always told me, you need to be on the radio. You need to be on the radio. So I'm like, okay. Like, then everybody told me like, man, like the way you talk, you could, I love to talk ish. Right. So, and the stuff that I'm very passionate about, the stuff that I believe in. Mm-hmm. The most important thing is like Black empowerment. Yeah. I'm super duper passionate on that. And things within the conscious community.
Yeah.
But I'm also passionate about hip hop, like super duper passionate about it. I feel it's been exploited. It's been just the black culture. We share it with everybody, but we don't stake no claims on it. Like other cultures, they might share their culture too, but this is theirs.
That's true.
Us, like hip hop has been stolen. We even say crazy stuff like hip hop was started by blacks and Latinos. That is a bold-faced lie. You even have like the founders, so-called founders of hip hop saying this. Yeah. Or hip hop was started by like a Jamaican, which hip hop was started by Super Cool Mario. Like a lot of people don't know that, right? So that's what made me want to start this podcast. I wanted to like first kick off stuff for my culture, right? And everything that I love. So that's why I said black empowerment, hip hop, whatever else I love, I'm going to speak on that. But like, I have to show you where the roots are because that's like I said, with our culture, we rent it out and people come in there and they stay there for life.
That's true. And
then they, like 100 years from now, they're going to say Eminem created hip hop. That's just the truth. That's it is what it is. It's going to happen because we never say this is ours. We let everybody take it. Then we put everybody bigger. Like Eminem is a rapper that came out in the 2000s, and most black people deem him as the best ever. That's a sick way of thinking. How we do that? That's very sick. Because which we created. We see all other music, even country music, we created. Everything else has been taken. This is the last kind of leg, and they basically took it. But the kids won't know. In like history, we already see in history how everything has been taken from us. Other cultures say that they Africans and we're not. You get what I'm saying? Or other cultures take everything from us. That's the whole thing for this podcast, basically, in a nutshell. Yeah, I want to show the history because people, for some reason, I don't know, especially around here, hate history. Or if you speak on history that isn't complimentary to another culture, what you're saying is racist. Like, if I say something about black culture, oh, that's racist. But then we learn white culture all through school.
That's true.
True. Why I can't tell the truth? Or like I tell everybody, if I said something that's wrong as far as history or my culture, please let me know and I'll apologize. If I said something about another culture, it's 100% the truth. That's what we be scared about, the truth. And if we say we godly and stuff like that, why not speak the truth? Like, it is what it is. Why not speak the truth? We're scared to hurt other cultures, but other cultures will hurt us, take everything from us. Yeah. Now we need to start being a little bit more selfish because we tried everything. We're the only culture that love our oppressors. The only culture. So we tried every single thing. We tried love. Everybody, you got to try love by God. We tried that. How about if we just say, yo, let us just be by ourselves. Let us get it together. Let us clean this house up by ourselves. That's the main part of this podcast. That I know I just went on a crazy rant. Like, man, I can have some comrades. And even though we got different approaches, I'm not too big or to say that I can't have a comrade that don't think like me. I'd rather have a comrade that don't think like me. You get what I'm saying? So I can see like, oh, damn, I might have been wrong right there. Or vice versa. You get what I'm saying? Just whatever you do, don't stop pushing the line. And, and then when it gets a little bit more controversial, send it my way, and I take care of it. You dig?
Yes, sir.
Word. You got any shout outs though? And let the people know where they can find you at and everything else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And honestly, I was gonna say too, if we're talking about the thought of the why and why we do what we do, you just explained your why.
Yeah.
Right. So going back to that the whole thing about your why, that's the first thing I want to say. I encourage anyone listening is if you are a creative, you're aspiring creative, business, like an entrepreneur, like you're looking into doing more than what you do now. Or taking a passion and wanting to not just make it into a business, but really like grow that passion to engage your community. First, ask yourself why. Because I promise you, there will be people out there who will see what you're doing and they will say, you know what? Let's take advantage of this person.
And your why can't really be money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It got to be something that you would do. Like, I would do this making no money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you play basketball, if you got a love for basketball, look how many people play basketball. It's not in the NBA. Do it for no money.
Right.
So you have to learn, what can I do for no money?
Yeah. That's a good point. That's passion. Now, we sometimes want to turn it into money, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right?
No, I'm not. No, don't make me against money. But we need a couple of dollars. We need a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah. And that was the whole thing for me. When I started doing music, I was in this spot where I was just like, I just love this. I didn't even know how to be professional. I didn't know what I was doing. Thank God now, like, for every step that he's, divinely stepped for me. But, like, at first, it was literally, I had no idea. And it was more so a passion. You got a love for the people. And now I have a love for the people. But I also, because I know my why, and I also am learning my worth as an artist, I have prices that I have set when it comes to people wanting to feature me, when it comes to places they want me to perform. I'm very adamant now about, and it doesn't always have to be that I'm charging someone to perform somewhere. Sometimes I just do it because I know them and I love them. Yeah. Right. But then there's times because of learning my why and my worth that I can go somewhere and I can say, you know what? It's going to be this much to feature me, or it's going to be this much to book me for a show because I know my worth. And if you don't want it, that's fine. God, I highly believe this. God takes care of all my needs. He'll take care of me. I'll still be able to get the shows or get the clients for design that I need, or any of that, right? So if you're hearing this, be encouraged to know, do the same thing. And it also helps you to not just be working with bozos, because there are bozos out there that will take care of you because they're total clowns. And I have worked with some. I was just...
I had to.
Nah, I'm glad.
I had to.
Real talk. And that's the thing, like, total clowns. I worked with somebody last year. Bro, I'm talking about fighting just to get my beats. And then when they didn't give me my beats, they ridiculed me and dogged me. And then
on social media?
Oh, no, just over the phone.
Oh.
But, like, they still ridiculed me and dogged me. And then from there, but they owed me $1,700 in beats. I don't even mind saying the numbers. But my point is that, like, they still owed me after that. Right? And my whole thing is, like, yo, I felt damaged and hurt. I didn't even know if I wanted to do this anymore. And God was like, nah, we're going to keep doing it. Yeah, but my point is, like, because I know my worth now, I have my boundaries set up and I could do that.
I came across that too, like, just even starting the podcast. Like, I first started this, and, I'm doing it with certain people, and just one day I looked up, they can't do it no more. Because, my grandmother's goldfish is sick. Made up a crazy, like a crazy scenario. And I knew it was that because they knew I didn't know certain things and I could stop what he's doing. Because I was saying things that was hurting them. But like I say, if it's the truth, it's the truth. I'm not trying to deliberately hurt no one from what I'm saying. And damn, it made me. I was getting ready to bust the person's name out, but
I'm good.
Yeah, but give your shout outs.
I just want to shout out 808 Ray for being a super dope producer. I want to shout out Andre Harrison. I actually want to shout out all my producers: 808 Ray, Andre, Dylan, Longo. Man, who else have I worked with? Professor X, Jeremy Wilder, Javi Cruz, like all the homies who have the music. Desiree D, my sister. all of them who I've worked with. Thanks to my mentors. Thanks to Jose, Tall Black Guy, Serene Poems. Shout out to producers and mixing
Tall Black Guy is fire too. When I went to that show, I knew nothing. Like, and not to cut you off, bro.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But I knew nothing about them until I was just bored in the house. I said, let me go out there.
Yeah.
And I went out there and I was introduced to some real good music.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing that to me.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like for real. Nah, they dope though.
Yeah. For sure. No, thank you. Yeah. Shout out to just the artists I've gotten to work with. All around UK radio. Thank you all. Y'all are amazing. Shout out, of course, to my mother for being so incredible and being the first creative. I wouldn't necessarily the first creative, but in our family of the tree, she is the roots, right? Of that creativity, and ultimately,
y'all like the Jackson 5 though. Y'all like
we all be doing stuff.
Yeah,
we all be doing stuff. My sister made cakes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just shout out and I'm just grateful for whoever I get to meet next.
And your social media handles, let them know where they can find you at on social media.
Yeah, for sure. You can find me on Instagram at Macklyn Dion. So Macklyn Dion. Same thing on Facebook. And then on SoundCloud, you can find me under that too.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm Wabu, and this is new Wabu Order Podcast. And y'all know where y'all heard it first. Let's grow.